Hello everybody, welcome back to Tom Reads Things. My name is Tom. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. So what I thought I would do today is I've bought a lot of books recently. So I thought I would do another rummage through my TBR box so I could show them all to you. So without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Get yourself a nice cup of tea, maybe a slice of cake, a couple of Twixes, bag of biscuits, and off we go. So the first couple of books I want to talk to you about, I have previously tried, oh, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? Previously tried to read and DNF'd them. And I'm not really sure why I DNF'd them. I think I DNF'd them because I think I'd read too many classics in a row and I was a bit classic stout. But I'm definitely going to pick these up again in July, fingers crossed, as part of Jane Austen July. Which Katie over at Books and Things is running, and I really want to take part in that as well as I can. So I'm going to be reading a couple of Jane Austen books. So the first one I want to talk about is Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. So I can't really remember a lot about this. I only got through the first maybe it was like the first 50 pages or something like that. I think what I'd done is I'd read so the way that Jane Austen writes, because she was earlier than the Victorian period, she writes, although it's kind of in the same century, her writing does feel very different to some other Victorian authors. So I think what I'd done is I had read some Anthony Trollope before I read this. Now, Anthony Trollope's writing style is very, well, it's not very simplistic, but in terms of the way that people wrote in the Victorian period, so if you compare him to, for example, Charles Dickens, his writing style is a bit more simplistic and easier to follow. So I think I had read some Anthony Trollope and couldn't readjust my brain to read Jane Austen. So yeah, very excited to get to this. The second Jane Austen book that I want to read as part of Jane Austen July is Persuasion by Jane Austen. God, he's handsome, isn't he? Look at him. What a wonderful suit he's got on there. So again, I can't really remember a lot about this. I believe this is set in Bath, and I love the city of Bath, so I can't wait to get to this and find out more. Yeah, I really didn't read a lot of this. Again, I think I tried to read this straight after I DNF'd Mansfield Park, so that wasn't really a good idea, was it? I thought, oh, this is shorter, I'll get through this quicker, but nope. So yeah, looking forward to getting to this again as part of Jane Austen July. Another book that I really want to read as part of Jane Austen July, but I cannot find it in hardback anywhere. I want to find it in hardback because I've got another book similar to it, which I've got in hardback as well. And that is, I think it's called Jane Austen at Home or At Home with Jane Austen. I can't remember. But it's by Dr. Lucy Worsley. Bloody love Dr. Lucy Worsley. And I've got her biography of Queen Victoria in hardback, and so I really want the Jane Austen one as well in hardback. So if anyone knows where I can find that, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks! So the next book that I've got in my box is one that as soon as it was recommended to me, I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. It sounds right up my street. I'm obsessed with it already. And that is The Warlow Experiment by Alix Nathan. Now, some of you will have heard Simon talk about this on his channel, Simon at Savage Reads. I'll link that video down below. He was the one that recommended it to me. He messaged me on Instagram and he was like, have you heard of this? He said it's such a good book. He said it gave him a book hangover. So yeah, if he's recommending it, you know it's going to be good. So this sounds right up my street. It's historical fiction set in the late Georgian period in the UK, which is one of my favourite kind of times to read about. And it follows the story, I believe, of a wealthy gentleman who lives in Wales, I want to say. And he wants to make his mark in the world of science. And he decides to carry out an experiment where somebody lives in isolation in the 3 rooms in the cellars of his grand house. And the story kind of goes on from there. I'm assuming that this is going to look at the kind of human psyche of being in isolation, and it's going to kind of explore that. And it's just such, I'm not going to lie to you, I wanted this because of the cover. Let's be honest, look at it. Look at it, and look at the end papers as well. I'm sorry, this is just unbelievable. Really excited to get to this. Thank you very much, Simon, for recommending it to me. And that is The Warlow Experiment by Alix Nathan. So the next book I'm going to pull out of my box is Little by Edward Carey. So I've been looking at this on BookTube for a while. It's a gorgeous cover again. A lot of people have been talking about this and say it's really, really great. I'm potentially going to be doing this as a buddy read with Katie over at Books and Things. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So this follows the story of a young girl in the French Revolution in Paris, and she becomes who we now know as Madame Tussauds. Her name is Marie, and she is apprenticed to a wax sculptor. The story follows her to Versailles, where she tutors a young princess, and it also talks about her relationship with Marie Antoinette and how she saved her in childbirth, all of those kind of wonderful things. So this sounds bloody brilliant. I'm really excited to get to it. I think it's got little pictures as it goes through as well, sort of. So yeah, that's exciting. Little picture book for myself there. Really, really can't wait to get to this. Not sure if I'll get to it in July. I'll obviously see when Katie is free to read it and read it with her if we can. So yeah, really looking forward to getting to this. And the last book that I have in my box, I have heard so many people rave about on BookTube, so I thought I've got to get it. And I picked it up on a recent trip to, well, I say recent, it was in May now, trip to London. I got this from Daunt Books, and that is Now We Shall Be Entirely Free by Andrew Miller. This is set in 1809, I believe in Somerset. And it follows the story of a man who has been involved in the war in France, or Spain, the war in Spain against Napoleon's forces. So I was kind of right when I said France. And it follows his sort of mental health recovery and goes on from there, really. I don't know a huge amount about this book, but again, gorgeous cover. It's a bit of a chunkster, but really looking forward to getting to this. Lots of people, as I said, have raved about it. So yeah, very, very, very excited. So that's my rummage over. Please let me know if you have read any of those books, or if you're going to read any of those books. Do let me know in the comment section down below what you've got on your TBR lists. And yeah, let's have a chat. Thanks, bye.